And now we're going to discuss Aaron Ramsdale's future.
In for Solanke, drives it into the near post. What a save again by the feet of Ramsdale.
I don't understand why Ramsdale has been demoted and is being currently humiliated like this. I think Arteta has got to make a decision which one is number one and then stick with it.
Tom Davies, great save, Ramsdale.
When you look back, like last year, he was voted the goalkeeper of the Premier League by the players, which is a massive accolade.
If Arsenal come away from this game with a point, they'll have their goalkeeper to thank for it, if I'm honest, because he has made 3 stunning stops in this second half.
I just can't get my head around. I don't think he's done a lot wrong this season either. But I just think the players around are thinking how I'm thinking. It's saying, well, he hasn't done nothing wrong. Why is he being dropped?
Antonio! What a save by Ramsdale. Standing up tall to parry it away two-handed.
But I do think Aaron Ramsdale, I think he should leave. You know, you've got the competitions coming up, World Cups, Euros, like those types of things. If he stays at Arsenal, he's not going to play.
She's right, isn't she? Leanne Sanderson there saying he must leave, and I think he must now. He must look at it anyway. I think when Mikel Arteta brought in David Raya, it was all a case of it's 2 number ones, which I didn't agree with. I thought, just be honest and say David Raya's coming in as our number one, and that, you know, Ramsdale's going to have to fight for his place. It's clear. And the reason we're speaking about this, a lot of you might be saying, why are you speaking about this? This happened ages ago. It's because, well, Ramsdale's actually spoke about it himself now for the first time. He's come out and said he's suffering and hurting at his loss, obviously, of his status as Arsenal's number one goalkeeper. We saw the other day he's lost his England place as well. Now Sam Johnston coming on instead of... Like, it was Pickford, then Ramsdale. All of a sudden, his Euro 2024 selection's up for debate. I don't think it should be, but it's up for debate. If you're not playing for your club, you shouldn't really be playing for England. What do you make of Ramsdale saying he's suffering and hurting?
I think he's being very transparent and very honest, and I think that is how he will be feeling. Because if you think about the season that he had last year, it was fantastic, wasn't it? It certainly went better than anybody could have predicted. He ended up being in the team of the year, didn't he? So Aaron Ramsdale, the Arsenal goalkeeper, was in the team of the year last season. When you think about the ridicule that came Mikel Arteta's way when they signed Aaron Ramsdale, it felt like a fairly uninspiring signing, and yet he was brilliant. And if you think about his performances last year, like think about any particular game, like the one I'll use as a case study to demonstrate how good he was, the game at the modern day White Hart Lane.
Okay.
Right, it's probably Arsenal's most intense fixture of the season. They're going away to Tottenham.
Why do you call it that?
Well, because it's called the Tottenham.
The modern day White Hart Lane.
I think it's White Hart Lane. I like the tradition. I like a homage to what once was. Like they call it the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now, don't they?
Yeah.
But for me, it will always be White Hart Lane. Anyway, Ramsdale went there under immense pressure, playing for Arsenal, and I think this is fair to say. Arsenal won the game 2-0. If you swapped goalkeepers that day, the scoreline would swap. That's how good Aaron Ramsdale's performance was. Arsenal won the game 2-0. The reason they won 2-0 was because their goalkeeper was so good.
What is he not good at? Like, what do you think Arteta's sort of looked at and thought, okay, he's not going to win us the title?
I think it's a different question. It isn't what isn't he good at, because he is a very competent goalkeeper.
David Raya better than him at?
I think that is the question. I think David Raya is just a better goalkeeper overall. I think there is an element to
better than the goalkeeper who you just said was in the team of the year last year.
He had a very good season.
Yeah.
He had a very good season, but you know, people seem to think that Arteta has done something wrong. Is it disrespectful? There's nothing sentimental about this. Mikel Arteta doesn't owe Aaron Ramsdale anything.
Agreed.
He has done something very impressive for Arsenal. And what Mikel Arteta has gone out and done is 2 things. And one of them is something that he promised to do anyway. The first thing that he's done is strengthen a position of strength. That's the sign of being brilliant. That's the sign of being title winners. Strengthening where you are already strong is exactly what you should be doing. Don't wait for a deficiency in the team to strengthen. Strengthen a position where you're already brilliant. That's how you get better. That's how you become the best team in the country.
But has he really elevated that position? Like, no disrespect to David Raya, look, he might be a goalkeeper in a couple of years' time where we do compare to Edison and Alisson, but he hasn't gone out and got that, has he?
No.
So yes, and I think it's, by the way, I still think it's a debate who's better out of the two, by the way, which is, again, even raising more questions to why strengthen that position. But he's not strengthened it by that much, has he?
But the other thing that you need to do, and again, this is Mikel Arteta's own, this is his own template, this is his own philosophy. 2 top-tier players per position. That's why Pep Guardiola's team won a treble. They have 2 players per position, pretty much, who are elite in everything they do. Arsenal, if Aaron Ramsdale was injured last year, there would have been an issue Who plays in goal? Who's their number one? So the fact that they've gone out, they've bought in a number one who is capable of deputising, capable of overshadowing, capable of removing from the team. I think that's a good thing. And I think Aaron Ramsdale, really, what he should be doing is saying, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to knuckle down and I am going to displace David Raya. I am going to make it impossible. I'm going to make myself completely indispensable to this team.
How does he do that? It's not like you can impress in training and get in the starting 11. You can't do that.
Well, I think what you need to do is impress in training. I think that's your first thing to do. I think that's the first thing you have to do. Make sure that you are training to the very best of your ability. And then when there is a chink in the armour, when there is an opportunity...
A Carabao Cup game.
Yeah, a Carabao Cup game. Or let's face it, although David Raya is the first goalkeeper for 16 games to have played against Manchester City and not conceded, I think that some Arsenal fans were fairly troubled by his performance, particularly in the first half. When Julian Alvarez charged him down and things like that. So I think Aaron Ramsdale's responsibility is to be ready. He's been dropped. Virtually all elite level footballers have a moment where they're dropped, and how they react to that is part of what makes them elite.
Agreed. Should he, and bear in mind we're talking about Euro 2024 coming up on the horizon, should he be looking for another club now that he looks like he's been dropped behind Sam Johnston? I don't know the situation with Nick Pope, who looks like he's been unfavoured, but there was a legit question about Pickford or Ramsdale. Legit question, right? And people were debating the two. It looks like he's behind Sam Johnston as well.
But this is ludicrous, isn't it? Because this just demonstrates the hypocrisy of Gareth Southgate. Because Gareth Southgate has effectively said to Aaron Ramsdale, you're not playing, therefore you can't be in my England setup. You don't start for your club, therefore you will not start for your country. Yeah. And yet he started Calvin Phillips, and Harry Maguire is definitely going to feature in the Euros, almost definitely. Yeah. So the hypocrisy of Gareth Southgate almost knows no ends. So regardless of what he does, regardless of what Aaron Ramsdale does, I think that it's almost irrelevant as to whether he gets back in the England team or not, because Gareth Southgate has his favourites. He has the team that he believes will succeed, and I don't think he deviates from that much.
Should he leave in January? Should he
not
want?
Really, no.
But wait, 1 second. It's not
he
really,
shouldn't leave.
You've been number one for the best part of 2 seasons. You're a fantastic goalkeeper, a young goalkeeper as well. Surely your place is not to be on the bench for the next 2 years.
May I ask you a question to answer your question? Why does he not adopt this principle to it? I will displace David Raya and keep my place as the Arsenal number one.
Because he doesn't have a chance of displacing him, because he doesn't get any game time. No. He's played 1 game, and that was against Brentford in the Carabao Cup. Played good in that game, by the way. Got dropped the next game.
No, but you make yourself indispensable. You make yourself completely indispensable to the manager. So when the games come thick and fast, which they undoubtedly will this season...
You don't rest goalkeepers. This is the difference. When you said having a good player for every single position, you rest outfield players. You never really rest goalkeepers, do you? You very rarely see it.
But your question about Ramsdale leaving in order to secure his England place...
No, forget that. That's an option. That's obviously part of it. I'm just talking about leaving to play football.
But where would he go? Like, realistically, he's not going to go to a team better than... Okay,
No, you don't. You drop down. You're not going to go down.
I don't think he should. If I were counselling Aaron Ramsdale, if he was seeking my counsel as to where he should go, I would say sit tight and be brilliant and earn your place back. Listen...
Would you have him at Chelsea?
I think he's a better goalkeeper than Robert Sanchez. Yeah,
there you go, there.
I think
there you go.
Yeah, but we're not in the top half of the league. You
can't Chelsea. No, come on 1 second.
You can't possibly think it's a good move for Aaron Ramsdale to leave a team that are in the Champions League and potentially going to win the Premier League and go to.
You think it's a better option for Ramsdale to sit on the bench for Arsenal, where he has absolutely no chance of displacing David Raya, or start for Chelsea?
You and I disagree here.
He's not displacing him.
Why not? Why can't he displace the goalkeeper? Why is Aaron Ramsdale, who has been number one for a year, carries a lot of favour with the fans, has never really let Mikel Arteta down, and was part of Arsenal's first title charge, serious title charge, for about 10 years.
Do you know how much,
why is he totally out of favour now?
Do you know how much Arteta must not rate him? That, again, in the team of the year, I thought he had a good season, and he still found another goalkeeper to replace him.
But that's not necessarily the insult that you think it is. That's just strengthening your squad. I think you and I just disagree on this. Look, there are reasons why I think Aaron Ramsdale has a legitimate grievance, has a legitimate reason to be upset. But I would honestly say to Aaron Ramsdale, if he were a friend of mine, you can win your place back. David Raya isn't that much better than you, if at all.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.